Next up is our man on the street for property investors. He is he's like a VIP. You know, you go to that club and you want to get in. He's that big bouncer at the front with the velvet ropes, and he's going to let you decide whether you're going to let you in. And what's on the inside of that club? Your property. And the people that want to get in, renters. And Duke is at the front door making sure only the good
ones get in.
Only the good ones get in so they can get bottle service.
All right. So, yes, that's Duke Kimhan with the Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
I'm going to take off on the purchasing side of the rental market.
Yes.
So I get a lot of people that are VA because they are military and they're having to leave the island after their 2-year plus stint in Hawaii. And they call me and they said, hey, we want to rent out our property. And I said, okay, where's your property? And they tell me. And I said, do you have an HOA? And they say, yes. And I said, did you buy with a VA loan? And they say, yes. And I said, okay, I already know that you're going to be negative. Are you okay with that? They said, well, how much? And then we drill down the numbers, right? Because when you put no money down on $1 million property, you're probably going to have a $6,000 mortgage, which covers in their BH. But when you go to rent that, now you can't cover that. You buy a townhome right now on the west side, it's going to be $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 for a townhome. And then you're going to have anywhere from $500 to $600 HOA fee. The rent on those units is not $5,000. It's $3,000. And you have a mortgage and an HOA fee that is a little more than $4,000. That's what I see across the general public of townhomes.
We sent you.
Buy one of those.
I was going to say we just recently sent you a client that we did the numbers and it looked like they were going to be negative $1,400 a month because of
a month.
So
correct.
That's a lot of negative.
$16,000 a year. But the reason why they couldn't sell it is because they didn't have a buyer for 5 months, 6 months. And they were paying that mortgage with no income coming in.
Ouch.
So that VA ship in Hawaii is good and bad.
You know what, Duke, this is somebody that we met with and they're looking to sell. And you had given them exactly what you just told us now. I think all the way back in like 2011, you had given them the same advice, is that at that point, and the client was saying, and I want to say who the client is because they didn't give us permission to talk about it, but we can talk stink about people so long as we don't mention their name.
But we're not talking stink. Like it was a compliment to you, Duke.
It was a compliment to you, Duke, because listen, folks, the advice that Duke is giving you, condos versus single family homes, we are dealing with a client right now where Duke told them.
Duke told them.
Are you sure you want to buy one condo? Because you should buy one single family home. How do I know that? Because they told us you told them.
And he's like, I should have listened to Duke.
I should have listened to Duke. So fast forward today, this thing
maintenance fees have gone way up.
Cannot rent, even after owning it for 15 years, cannot rent for more because the maintenance fees are so high.
And you can't sell it because of those maintenance fees.
Yes.
And there'll be you know what I love when you meet with the couples?
What?
The wife is like more like reality, and the husbands are like, oh, we're gonna sell this thing for, and then the wife is kicking them under the table and totally undermining because they're they're trying to like, oh, we're gonna make money on this sale, and then the wife's kicking them under the table, and then they go, come on, let's get real. We'd be lucky if we get what we paid for it out of this thing.
Because the maintenance fees have gone up so much.
Because of the maintenance fees.
Yep.
Right. I know it's a very different market in the mainland. But when people come to Hawaii, they don't ask the right questions, right? How long are you going to keep it? What do you want to do with it when you're done? How much money do you want to put down? And how much money do you want to pay every month? And can this thing rent out to cover my expenses when I leave the island?
So this is a real life example of the advice you gave somebody 14 years ago.
And they didn't listen.
Probably when I was first getting started. And I still don't
they're
want
kicking themselves
as a client if they don't want to be a client. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just tell them straight out, listen, you probably want to sell this. And I'm there to get the property management contract.
Yeah.
And I just tell them you probably should sell this instead of being negative $25,000 a year for 2 years. And that's going to make up $50,000 in equity.
And I would say that says a lot about you, Duke, because you don't make any money when they go to sell it. You're just telling them the right thing to do because you don't want to see them in a financially distressed situation.
And fast forward today. Go ahead, Duke.
Being negative $25,000 a year does not count any vacancy or any repairs on the units.
Yeah.
So, that's just terrible that they're in that situation.
And
I wish I could give them better advice.
Well, you did. Though that wasn't the challenge. They didn't take it and listen to it and act upon it. So what is funny when you were saying that, because we met with them. And like people were thinking, oh, you're just making that up. You're saying this because of maybe in the last couple of years. No, I have a factual situation where you gave somebody that advice 14 years ago.
Yes.
And now
he's been saying it all along.
Yeah. So anyway, good job on that, Duke.
Thank you, Duke.
It's like, our clients are like our kids. You give them the advice, but it's up to them whether they're going to act upon it.
Yeah.
So.
If you need to see any of our products, go to our website, www.hipacificpm for propertymanagement.com.
All right.
Thank you, Duke.
Thank you, Duke.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.